welcome to the gauge check of making the men's sweater. The gauge is 12 half double crochets, so HDC is half double crochet. This is the abbreviations key to be able to know what those abbreviations are, and 9 rows. So 12 half double crochets and 9 rows equals a 4-inch by 4-inch box. So what we want to do is grab the yarn that we're going to play with and the larger size hook, which is a 6mm. You need to match this gauge in order to get this sizing to be proper. Everybody's hands are differently, so you may have to adjust your hook if your tension's different, and I'll talk about that later on. So let's begin to make a gauge swatch. So this yarn is not wasted yarn. We're going to rip it out at the end. I'm just using the color green just for the fun of it today, and I will be bringing on a different color when I go to start the project as well. So I'll use a brighter color for the gauge check. So let's create a slip knot. It said 12 half double crochets, that's 12 stitches. So just for the fun of it, I want you to chain 17 chains here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And the reason why I'm having you do more is that when this is flexing, if you can see that there's a stitch missing, you can know that there's information missing. So if you do exactly 12 half double crochets or 12 stitches and there's a differential, you'll never know how many stitches you're missing if that's the case. So we're going to just do our first row just for the fun, and let's begin row number 1. So first row, just go to the second chain and and single crochet across. I like the bases to be stable, so I usually like to single crochet across a chain, and therefore I have a solid chain to be able to work with. And then we're going to switch with half double crochet for the remaining. So go across your chain, single crochet, and I'll see you at the other side in a moment. Okay, once you single crochet all the way across, so this here should be more than 4 inches. And we'll just do a quick check. So it's slightly more, which is what I'm looking for. And we're just going to turn our work, and we're going to begin half double crochet then for this. So the way that I'm going to half double crochet in this pattern is going to be different than what it's stating. So when I start a row of half double crochet, I'm just going to chain 1 only instead of chaining 2 and counting as a stitch. I don't like a chain being on the end counting as a stitch. So just chain 1 only and start in the very first one and half double crochet. And just half double crochet then all the way across. It makes the edge more solid looking, and therefore you got more to sew on to instead of a gapping space of a chain work being used. So half double crochet all the way across, and I'll be right back in a moment. Go right to the very end, to the last one, and then turn your work. So I want you to build a 5-inch tall panel. And I know that it's a 4x4, but what you're going to notice is that you'll stabilize yourself. You'll notice that this is a little bit wider than it was when we did the single crochet, not by much, but it's enough to make a big difference. So what I want to do now is just continue to build these up. So as you start another row, as I would show you in the tutorial later on in the next one, so you're just going to chain up 1 and then half double crochet into the first half double crochet. And what you need to pay attention to the most is the very last one at the end of the row, that you do not miss it. I always find when I chain 2 at the beginning of a row, I miss it. So this allows me not to miss that stitch, but you got to be able to identify the last one at the end of the row. And I'll see you there in a moment. So we have 2 more stitches left. We have this stitch, which people think is the last one, but it's actually right here is the last one. So you got 2 more left. Make sure you get into that last one, or you'll be skipping a stitch. Because I evenly crochet, it's obvious on camera, but it may not be for you. It may look like it's going to blend, but make sure you got it. It's right there. Okay. So when you're building out the ribbing work in the next tutorials, you're going to notice that the ribbing is tighter because we've used a smaller hook. So this will look like it's bending out like that, which is intentional because it is a bigger size hook. So just turn your work, chain up 1 single right into the first one, and keep doing this until this is 4 inches, total of 5 inches right from the very start up. And then we're going to take our measurements and see how we are for gauge for matching our pattern to this project. So here's my gauge swatch. See how the edges look really good? It's from that chain 1 instead of counting a chain 2 as a stitch. Okay, so that's just my own preference. So I got my boat 5 inches tall. We're not going to worry about the single crochet row. We're concentrating on the half double crochet. And what we want to do is lay out our tape measure. I've not done this in advance, and there should be 12 half double crochets between the 0 and 4. And let's count it and hope for the best. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So it works. Honestly, this is our first time looking at that. So let's go through the size differential. So if we had 14 stitches instead of 12 or 13 or 14, it means that you're too tight. You're going to want to increase your hook size. So maybe you would want to go to 6.5 millimeter and try this again to see if it will go into the 12 half double crochet. And then maybe your smaller hook instead of being a 5.5 is actually the 6. If you're looking at this and maybe you had 10 or 11 half double crochets instead of 12, it means that you're being too loose. So you're going to want to reduce your hook. So maybe go down one hook size of a 5.5 millimeter and try it again. And then maybe your smaller hook is actually a 5 millimeter size 5 millimeter size H crochet hook instead. So the goal is to match that number, because if you have extra stitches per 4 inches, and when you're looking at a garment of clothing, that extra stitch or lack of stitches can be the size difference of being really sloppy looking or not fitting at all. So you're going to want to match your gauge in order to do that. So let's check our gauge and the height. We've not done that yet, so just turn it. And it said that there was 9 rows. So we're going to count the number of rows between a 4-inch area. So it's from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if you had maybe 9.5 or maybe 8.5 or etc., focus on the width as your priority. So if your width is right and your height is slightly off, do not worry about it, because all of the instructions will say measure a certain amount going up as you're working through your sweater, and which is key versus being able to have the stitch counts in the horizontal like this. So focus, if they're out of alignment anyway, focus on the horizontal being as accurate as possible, because the heights can be adjusted in the pattern by just using a tape measure in the future. Let me know how you did in the comments, and are you ready to go? Let's go, and I'll see you in the next video.